Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Kling Rising League Recap Show. I'm your host, Andrew Gorman from the Pickleball Diaries Podcast. So, a little bit late on this one, but 10 days ago, we had Stop 5 on July 4th at the Jar in North York. So, let's get right into the matchups here. So, game one, we had Reese's Pickleball Pieces versus Apex Paddlers. Reese's Pickleball Pieces wins that 3-1, with Apex Paddlers only winning the men's match. We move on to the Apex Paddlers again versus Guelph Shrimps. This game came down to a tiebreaker. So Guelph Shrimp win the men's and women's matches, 15-13 apiece. But then Apex Paddlers come back and win the mixed 1 and 2 at 15-13 apiece. So the plus minus was the same. So they had to go to tiebreak singles. And then Guelph Shrimp pull out the tight win 15-14 to take that game. Next, you had Guelph Shrimp versus Double Trouble. Double Trouble takes that game 3-1, with Guelph Shrimp just winning the men's match. Next, you had up Dink Dynasty versus Body Baggers. Body Baggers clean sweep that one, 4-0. Rally Force versus Northern Dinks. Rally Force also sweeps that one, 4-0. Booyah versus Game of Paddles. Booyah takes that in 4 straight. Dink Dynasty versus Apex Paddlers. This one also came down to a point differential, with the main deciding match being mixed 2 with a 15-11 win to give Dink Dynasty the plus-minus differential there. Body Baggers versus Double Trouble. Body Baggers take that in a 4-game sweep. Reese's Pickleball Pieces versus Rally Force. Rally Force takes that 3-1, with Reese's Pickleball Pieces just winning the mixed 2 match. Guelph Shrimp versus Game of Paddles. This also came down to point differential, with the main one being the 15-10 win for Guelph Shrimp. Northern Dinks versus Booyah. Booyah takes that in a 4-game sweep. Apex Paddlers versus Double Trouble. Apex Paddler takes that 3-1, with Double Trouble just winning the women's match. Body Baggers versus Game of Paddles. Body Baggers take that 3-1. Game of Paddles just getting the win in mix 2. Dink Dynasty versus Rally Force. Rally Force takes that in a 4-game sweep. Guelph Shrimp versus Booyah. Booyah wins that 3-1, with the Shrimp just winning mix 2 match. Northern Dinks versus Reese's Pickleball Pieces. Reese's Pickleball Pieces takes that in a 4-game sweep. Apex Paddlers versus Game of Paddles. Apex takes that 3-1. Game of Paddles just getting the 1 win in the mixed 2 match. Double Trouble versus Rally Force. Rally Force takes that 3-1, with Double Trouble just winning the women's match. Body Baggers versus Booyah. Body Baggers sweeping Booyah 4-0. Dink Dynasty versus Reese's Pickleball Pieces. This one came down to total point differential, with Reese's Pickleball Pieces winning that, and with both of their matches winning 15-8 in both the men's and mixed 2 being the big deciders in the point differential there. Northern Dinks versus Guelph Shrimp. This one also came down to point differential. Northern Dinks getting it, with the main contributor being the women's doubles match, winning that one 15-10. Apex versus Booyah. Booyah takes that in a 4-game sweep. Then Reese's Pickleball Pieces versus Double Trouble. This one came down to point differential. Reese's Pickleball Pieces getting that win, with the main contributing factor being the men's doubles match, winning that one 15-10. Body Baggers versus Guelph Shrimp. Body Baggers take a 4-game sweep there. Northern Dinks versus Dink Dynasty. This one came down to point differential, and the main deciding match there for Dink Dynasty being the women's match, with a 15-10 win. Game of Paddles versus Rally Force. Rally Force takes that 3-1. Game of Paddles just winning the men's doubles match. Rally Force versus Booyah. Rally Force takes that one 3-1. Booyah only winning the men's match there. Game of Paddles versus Reese's Pickleball Pieces. Reese's Pickleball Pieces wins 3-1. Game of Paddles just winning the men's match. Double Trouble versus Dink Dynasty. This one came down to point differential. Dink Dynasty getting the win, with the mixed 2 match winning 15-9, being the main contributing factor in that one. And then the final match of the day, Northern Dinks versus Body Baggers. Body Baggers takes that 3-1. Northern Dinks just winning the men's doubles match. So at the end of stop 5, if I can get my scroller going here, there we go. So if we take a look at the standings, we're going to look at stop 5 first by itself. So both Body Baggers and Rally Force go 6-0. Reese's Pickleball Pieces go 5-1. Booyah goes 4-2. Dink Dynasty 3-3. Guelph Shrimp 2-4. Apex Paddlers 2-4. Double Trouble 1-5. Northern Dinks 1-5. And then Game of Paddles going 0-6. So if we go to cumulative total here, so Reese's Pickleball Pieces stays atop of the standings, 22-8. Body Baggers and Rally Force and Booyah are all tied at 21-9, but Body Baggers getting second place with the games won versus game loss. Winning percentage at 70%, Rally Force at 62.5%, Booyah at 59.2%. Then in fifth place, Double Trouble at 17-13, Guelph Shrimp 6 at 11-19, Apex Paddlers 10-20, Game of Paddles 9-21, Dink Dynasty 8-22, and then Northern Dinks 10-20. So if we jump over to our rankings really quick, you can see at the top here, top players is still Nicholas Stryker for Booyah, 33-3. Mind you, he didn't look like he played this weekend. Vicky from Body Baggers 22-2. Steffi from Reese's Pickleball Pieces 20-4. Shannon from Double Trouble 10-2. Callius from Double Trouble 10-2 as well. A couple more 10-2s with Samuel and Nathan. And then you have Caitlin down there at number 8, 38-10. Jackie from Rally Force 36-12. So if we jump over to insights really quickly here, Jill's still at the top there at 119% impact, 40-18, 69% win percentage, 19-16 wins. Jacob for Booyah, 34-14, 71% wins, 21-21. Peter from Reese's Pickleball Pieces, 39-21, 65% win. Denver from Reese's Pickleball Pieces, 38-22. Kim from Booyah, 27-21, and then Andrew from Game of Paddles, 22-24. So we come down to the lineup strategy. We'll start with Reese's Pickleball Pieces at the top there, and just like last time, they're mixed 2 by far their most dominant team there. Men's is pretty good at 57%. Mixed 1, at 53. Mixed 2 is at 90%, and then their women's is at 57%. So both their men's and their women's at 57%, and the mixed 2 is carrying the team with that 90% win rate, 27-3. And if we add the other the rest of the teams in there, you can see the overlay here. All the teams. So if you look at the top teams here, so Body Baggers 72% win rate, Rally Force 83% win rate on mixed 1, mixed 2 Reese's Pickleball Pieces the highest there at that 90%. Closest to them is Body Baggers at 66%. If we go to men's, highest rated there is Booyah at 77%, followed up by Body Baggers at 62%, and then Reese's Pickleball Pieces and Guelph Shrimp 57-59 respectively. And then women's doubles, highest rated one there would be Body Baggers at 76%, Rally Force at 60%, Double Trouble at 62%. So you can see there the teams that have at least 2 teams up in the top percentages tend to be winning there. Clutch factor, Booyah still at 100%, 5-0 in deciding matches, 16-21, although they have been dropping a little bit, not quite sweeping everybody. They've been 4-2 the last couple here. Reese's Pickleball Pieces moving up, 7-3 in deciding matches, 25-18 in close games. Rally Force 5-4 in deciding matches, 33-23 in close games. Double Trouble 5-4 in deciding matches, but 31-19 in close games. And then Dink Dynasty there, 5-6 in deciding matches, 15-27 in close games. Coming down to top pairs, Caitlin and Vicky taking the top spot now. They're 11-0 with a point differential of plus 61%, so about 5.5 points per game. So they're usually winning 15 to about 9.5, 10. Bruna and Steffi there, 6-0 as well, plus 34, so winning by about 5.7 per game. Denver and Steffi, 6-0, plus 29, 4.8 per game. Emma and Roy 4-0, plus 25, 6.3. Shannon and Klaus, or Chaos, sorry, I apologize, 4-0, plus 20, which is about 5 per game. Denver and Bruna 4-0, plus 19, 4.8. Momentum here, I love this. We're just going to add all the teams in right away here. And you can see there the teams that have been hanging steady right around that, anywhere from 57 to 66% consistency is the teams that are on top of the league right now. So we see Reese's Pickleball pieces there, 64% to 66% hovering there, and they've been there since the second leg of the season there. Body Baggers hanging around there as well. Rally Force and Booyah all holding the top spots there. If we slide down to upsets, we can see hasn't changed much. There's been a couple of upsets there. One of the biggest ones, obviously, Dink Dynasty taking out Booyah 3-1. Obviously, Dink Dynasty taking out Rally Force in the tie break there. That was back in round 1. The other one was round 14. If we're going to something a little bit more recent, Guelph Shrimp taking out Rally Force 4-0. That was in round 24. That's the number 8 seed beating the number 2 seed. So we have one stop left on this insanely competitive league. It's going to be at Real Pickleball in Guelph on July 25th. And that'll finish off the regular season. And we'll see what teams make it to the playoffs to finish off the week here. So if you're in the area in Guelph, head over to Real Pickleball and catch those matches. Those are going to be insanely fun to watch. We'll go over the standings one more time. So cumulative standings here. So Reese's Pickleball pieces at 22-8, 73% win percentage. Body Baggers, Rally Force, and Booyah all 21-19. 70% win percentage apiece. But if we go to games won percentage, this is where Body Baggers get jumps up with the 70% win, going 84-36. Rally Force 75-45, and Booyah 71-49. Then you have Double Trouble in sole possession of that 5th spot there at 17-13, 56.7 win percentage, 61-59 for 50.8 game win percentage. Guelph Shrimp in 6 at 11-19, so this is the first team with a losing record, 36.7%, 47-73, so 39.2 game win percentage there. Then you have Apex Paddlers 10-20 at 33%. Game of Paddles 9-21 at 30%. Dink Dynasty 8-22 at 26.7%. And then Northern Dinks at the bottom 10-20 at 33.3 win percentage. So don't forget to check out the clingcup.com website, where I just showed you guys all these insights and different graphs if you want to check it out and see the different rankings, the different insights on the performances by the teams and which pairs are playing better and things like that. Like I said, one stop left at Rio Pickleball in Guelph on July 25th. We'll have a recap episode there, and then we'll be seeing what's going to be happening for the playoffs. Until then, we'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to check out Pickleball Diaries. Cheers.